Welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and I felt like Dorothy driving up here to the studio.
It is extremely windy today, like wowzers.
I mean, it was. I'm not lying.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, when we went to Vincennes Sunday, Beth and I took off and went to watch Madison Slover in Vincennes University's production of Schoolhouse Rock. And even all the way over there, it was like, I'm like, okay, is it my driving? And I'm looking, the trees are
very windy this week.
Now, Saturday, Jim and I took the kids to the zoo. Perfect day.
You did have the great day for that.
It was a great day for the zoo. The weather was beautiful. The animals were out. Everything was going up well. But boy, Sunday and yesterday, I worked outside in the yard all day long. Mm-hmm. It was awesome, and we got the pool open, and it's being filled with water right now, and that's taking forever. 2 days.
Holy moly!
That's a big pool. You don't realize how big it is till you're filling it up with water. Of course, we did lose a lot of the water out of it this year. I don't know what happens to it, but there's drains in the bottom of this pool. So if they're not shut off, I think, and the pressure of the other stuff pushes it out. I don't know. It's physics. I don't do physics.
Yeah, I don't either.
So we did that, and then I sprayed for weeds. I do a lot of spraying because some of the weeds. But like when I spray for weeds, it's not just around my house. I have that rental property.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm accumulating quite a bit of property on my block.
A lot to spray.
I have a lot to spray. So that, and then goodness sakes, and then we did mulch. I did 20 bags of mulch. I'm about 10 bags shy. Get that done. But yeah, just good, perfect day. I picked up Jack for school and got Joanne at 8 o'clock, and I was outside till about 4 o'clock. Just piddling. I could piddle outside all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if it's a nice day. But this wind.
No way. I don't want to be out in that wind.
Well, it makes me exhausted.
You know, some states have wind like this, like all the time, like year round, and I don't understand how they can stand to live there. Like, I couldn't do it. Like out in the plains.
The wind comes whooshing down the plains.
Yeah.
No way. No, it drives me crazy. I can't stand it.
I don't like it either.
Because it's exhausting. Mm-hmm. You know what it reminds me of?
What?
When you're in the ocean battling the waves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I can't.
Yeah, that's a good comparison, really.
Because you're walking. Mm-hmm. You're battling back.
Yes. Yeah.
And it just smacks you in the face, and you could get windburnt. And, Yeah, I don't know, but it was. I could. I think it's windier today. What's the day? Ooh,
today's
April 15th. You know what today is?
Today is tax day.
Worst day of my life.
Yeah, luckily mine are already done, so I don't have to worry about
done, but I've got to mail a check.
Oh, better do it.
I will. I'll wait till 11:59.
Knowing Flora mail, though, it might not get postmarked today. So
yeah, I'll get her in there. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm over them people.
You're over it. Yes,
but yeah, so that's not a good combination. Severe winds and tax season.
Yeah,
tax day.
But it is a good day for the tax preparers because I'm sure they are all very glad it is over.
Yes, they're probably exhausted. Mm-hmm. Yes. I get that.
Yeah,
I get that. My son, Connor, calls me last night. Mom, what is this PIN number? Blah, blah. Long story short, my son, Connor, last night, April 14th, calls me at 5:30. Mom, what's this one PIN number? Where do I find it at? I said, honey, what are you doing? He's doing his taxes last night.
Oh.
And he still needed a PIN number for something. I'm like, honey?
I don't know about a PIN number. Is there a reason?
I don't know. Something about... I got to call Brittany Thompson at the bank because it's like he has his taxes in his escrowed. Okay. Oh. So they apparently want some sort of number. I'm like, I bet you have to call Belleville Courthouse. Something about tax. I don't know. I'm like,
holy cow, that's complicated.
Because it wouldn't let him submit it. I said, honey, go to H&R Block and pay $25 or $75.
You think it's that cheap?
Oh, I have no idea. Mine's not because I don't go to H&R Block. How much does it cost?
I don't know what it is H&R Block, but I think it is like over $200, and I think that there's some places that are charging over $400.
Whenever I had mine done years ago, and I went to an accountant who's passed away, he was up here at Louisville. It would cost me $450 to get my taxes done, and this was like back when I started the 80s, 90s.
What? That's crazy.
No, it was outrageous. And then after he passed, I started going to June Connard. June charged me about $250. I go to and it depends on, and I have, but when I go
Right,
in,
but you had a business. I get that. So yours were more.
Mine's expensive, but I go in with everything, and I've been doing it so long, and really where I'm at in my business, nothing changes. Nothing really changes. But then Chad. Milner's where I go now, and he's actually the cheapest that I've ever had. Mine are under $200 with Chad. But like I said, I have it all set out and stuff.
Right.
Even that, because I thought, well, I do early wine properties because I have that Airbnb. I'm like, man, it's going to get... I just got everything handwritten out, exactly what he wants. He's like...
Yeah, that's good.
Didn't fare well for us this year, though.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. I had to make some adjustments on Jim. He ended up teaching full-time for 12 weeks. Well, he's a sub, and so it's kind of like get that $10.99, you sub, it's not that much. But when he worked those 12 weeks full-time sub, he got full teacher pay. And full teacher pay for 12 weeks, no taxes got taken out. So I had to pay on that. So it's all Jim's fault.
Blame it on Jim.
I'm going to blame it on Jim. He'll blame it on me for making him go back to work. That circle of me and Jim blaming it's just like
a never-ending circle of blame. Never ending.
But yeah, so the wind, and so we've covered the wind, we've covered tax day.
Yes.
What else is going on today? You got any big plans?
No, not really. I mean, I have a sick kid again. It's like, good grief. I was telling Stacey earlier, I'm ready for the school year to be over. My kids have been sick so much this school year. We've had about a solid month without anybody having any real sickness.
It's crazy.
And then boom, here we are with fevers again. And
what
it's
is
like,
it?
They've got some kind of, or Silas has some kind of virus. And
do they take vitamins?
Yes.
Much?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I honestly think it's just, there's a lot of stuff that goes around. I don't know.
I don't know.
Because everybody I've talked to, all of them say, my kids have been sick so much this year.
Well, this is the sickest year I've ever had in my life. I wake up every day with this right ear clogged. It's been going on since November. After a while it goes on, but I'm always stuffy every single day. Yeah, it's terrible. I don't know what's going on. Working with the public, I guess. I guess what you should do before your children go is just have them close their eyes and their mouth and hold their breath and just spray them with Lysol.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about that, but
the kids will walk out in a fog.
I know what's new at my house. I was going to tell you about baby chicks.
Did you get the baby chicks?
The baby chicks are at my house.
Be over Monday.
Yeah. Well, do you have the kids today? You should bring them today.
No, I have that class.
Oh.
Yeah, I have a class
bummer,
today
because they grow so fast. By Monday, they're going to be a lot bigger. But right now, they're just like this big.
Oh,
but by Monday, they'll probably be like this big. Yeah, they're fat. It's fast.
Huh.
They grow fast.
Are they super cute?
They are super cute. Well, and they're actually, just because it's still kind of cold and windy out, usually when they're babies, we don't put them right into the chicken coop. We keep them in a big box in the garage with a heat lamp.
I may pick up the kids
after
my class
really
and
should.
Bring them over.
But right now we have them under a heat lamp in our extra guest bedroom in the house.
My class is done about 4:30 or so. I'll pick them up. And bring them over.
They're just so tiny right now, so I can keep them inside and keep an eye on them.
Oh, so it's like.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, the kids will love that. Yeah, I'll go ahead and pick them up and bring them over. It won't take me very long to let them look at them. Can they touch them, though? Because they're going to want to be like.
Yeah, I'll let them hold one.
They can do that now? Okay, I didn't know. Yeah. Because I can't believe this is happening in my son's house. But Jack was like, yeah, we've got a cat. And I'm like, a cat? And then there's a picture. Paige said, yeah, so this just happened. Beautiful gray cat with green eyes. So he's too healthy and stuff, but he is up at their house. And they're keeping it. He's named it Kenny.
I like it. I
don't know, but he's like, Kitty, yeah, look at Kitty. And I'm just like, you? And I'm like, Paige doesn't like animals. And she's like, yeah, he showed up. But they built a new house, and this house is in the field. And they haven't had a mouse in the house because it's pretty solid, but they've caught several in the garage. So I'm like, you're going to want that cat. Let that, just let it. But it purrs, it comes up. So what's that about? If it's not feral.
No, it's most cats are like that, Stacey. She doesn't like cats, and I don't understand it. No, there are some wild cats, but I mean, not all of them are like that.
Well, this one just came up, and I'm like, hey, Kenny. Yeah, he's pretty. He's a dark gray, and he's real healthy. And I'm like, well, I said, you're feeding him now. And so, guys, yesterday I thought, usually whenever I'm over there, and Paige worked yesterday, and so, like, I'm sitting on the couch, like, I'll, like, hide from Jack, because, like, he'll come in, then I'll scare him. It's the whole thing. Joey's still taking a nap. He came in, and I'm like, oh, I heard the door open, and so I'm, like, kind of trying to be quiet so I can scare him. And then I heard the back door, and he's like, Kenny, and I'm like,
I love it.
Wait a minute. He's like,
Kenny,
come here, y'all. So, he just loved that. Oh, he just loves that.
That's
cat.
good for the kids to have a cat.
But because they have a couple dogs, but I'm anxious to see what happens because the dogs are still at Ann's because they don't. I mean, it's just mud out there. They don't have a fence yet. But I'm anxious to see what happens.
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good for them for mice, but it'll be good for the kids too. It's good to have a friendly cat.
Kenny. Paige has and Max allergic to cats. That's one reason why I like Jim, because we were a dog family, so we had a ton of dogs. We had 2 cats in our life. Puff was a big old gray tomcat that hated me and attacked me all the time. And then I had like a little calico. His name was Figney. I loved Figney, but he got hit by a car.
Oh.
But Puff lived to be 150 years old. I was glad when that cat died. I hated that cat. He hated me.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, but this one reminds me of Pup. But yeah, I can't. And it was in the house because as soon as Jack opened the door, said, Mom, there's a cat out here. That cat was in the house. So it's got to be a house cat, right?
No, it's got to be a smart cat. That's what it is. Like, just compare it to a dog. Every dog that you meet, does it come up to you and growl?
No, but dogs and cats are different.
No.
Dogs rule, cats drool.
No.
Okay, so here's the deal. Beth and I are a lot alike, except on this one issue. She's a cat person.
I'm a cat person. She's a dog person. But really, there's a lot of similar. I like dogs too. I like both. But there's just similarities there. You're not going to, not every cat is what you have in your head that it's going to be.
Oh shoot!
Kenny is out to prove you wrong.
I'll have to find a picture of Kenny. He's funny. Okay, let's do an ad here real quick. So we're going to talk a little bit today about Crusade Enterprise, and we'll get into all that in a minute. But it was a
recording studio
in Flora, and it was shocking how many people. I remember Crusade, but we'll get into that a little bit. So I thought, well, it's only fitting to do a
music.
I found a General Electric Brighten Your Summer. Look at these super cute radios.
Oh, I like their super cute swimsuit.
With a color-styled portable radio.
Ah.
Yeah.
Is she wearing a cape?
I think she is. But look how cute that is. This little radio is only $39.95. But yeah, look how cute that is.
That's super cute.
Yeah, and they came in little collars. But yeah, look at her. This is from the 40s, so she's got that super cute bathing suit on. But I would kill for one of these radios right now. They're all different. Like you get some are like $19.95, $39.95, $29.95.
I want the little green one. That's
Isn't
super cute.
The new, exciting, the smartest vacation radios yet. Sparkling GE 3-way portables in a variety of gay colors to accent your own good taste and complement your favorite sportswear. Compact, sturdy, low-priced, and light. Most are only 8 pounds with batteries. Take your choice of fawn tan, marine green, or maroon. Also, a deluxe maroon model specially built to get distant stations. Whichever you choose, you'll be sure of GE excellent in power, tone, and dependability. Add color to your vacation with a new GE portable. See them at your General Electric dealer today.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought that was a cute ad.
That's super cute. I like it.
Yeah, her bathing suit's fun. And then the guy in the background's like, hey, I got my radio. Yeah, of course, like they're anywhere. So like the maroon one right there, is at the beach. And then the other one's by a campfire. Yeah. And the green one, I think the lady's doing work. She's gardening.
Okay.
Yeah, just take your little portable radio with you. I thought that ad was really cute.
That is cute. I like it. Yeah. That was a good one. Segue into our story on...
Crusade Enterprises.
That's right.
But we're going to take a commercial break, and we're going to come back and talk about the Harris family and Crusade Enterprises and all the amazing people who came to Flora and recorded. One you're going to be surprised by because I didn't even know that till last night. We will be right back.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank To Go app. Search My Bank To Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. Today we have a fun show planned about the history of Crusade Enterprises in Flora, Illinois.
So we talked a little bit about tag team in this one because I think I mentioned something. Hey, let's talk about Crusade a little bit. But I had no idea that the contacts that we had. Of course, Tammy was a year older than I. She graduated ahead of me. Of course, I knew Berdella McGrew worked at Crusade, but I had no idea your mother worked there.
Yep, my mom worked there for a long time. So where she says Tammy, she's talking about Tammy Renee Harris. This business was owned by Ray and Dolores Harris, and they started it way back in 1959.
But one interesting thing that we found out last night. So last night, Beth and I met with Tammy, Berdella McGrew, and your mother, Debbie.
DeVore.
And
And Dorothy Cobble.
Whom all worked at Crusade.
Yes.
Whether or not they all worked together at one time.
Yeah.
But they worked together. So talk about a fun night.
It was fun. So thank you to all of them for, giving us the information and being willing to meet and go over everything.
What I noticed, it must have been a close-knit family business relationship with their employees, due to the fact that, like, when these ladies met last night, who probably haven't been around, sat down at a table with each other for a long time, it was just like boom, 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 boom. Did you notice how they immediately just started talking and enjoying each other's company? So you know that it was a good family working relationship with that. But I didn't realize that Ray. I was like, because I asked Tammy, I was like, well, how did it get here? But apparently her father was a salesman, and so they traveled, and she had an older sister named Vicky, and so they traveled with their oldest daughter, and he was a salesman, and they did recordings at other places, correct?
Yes. So, but I think she also said they traveled and performed.
They traveled and performed. Yes. Yeah.
And then they started recording some of their stuff, but most of all of the recording studios that they had went to were loud, obnoxious. There was cussing. There was bad attitudes, drinking. Yeah. It wasn't the kind of place where they wanted to have their daughter record or even themselves be in
the environment.
And they were mainly performing gospel music, and they wanted a more gospel-centered recording studio, so they started their own. And
then when Miss Tammy was going to be coming along, they landed in Flora. To all of the community's benefit, they landed to Flora. I know, as being a performer myself and being in high school, the fact that Ray was there, we had phenomenal sound in our school productions, from like Lincoln School all the way up through high school and stuff, because Ray would bring his equipment in and set it all up and run our sound for us. So I always felt like those years that we were just above everybody else.
Just a little bit better.
Just a little bit better, everybody, due to Ray Harris bringing in his sound. But yeah, I thought that was a really...
Well, let's show a picture of this building because the building is still there and people don't realize that this was Crusade Enterprises.
So this is right on the corner of South Locust and East North Avenue. It used to say, it had in red letters, it said Crusade Enterprises. This was the recording studio.
And the front door was
Smith
red.
Appraisal. Yeah.
The front door was red for as long as I can remember until the Smiths bought it. And the carpeting inside was red. The chairs that they set in to record that, everything, it had a lot of red in it, which I love red. So, and I thought that was always really cool. I loved the red front door. But yeah, so the building is still there. And at the time that the Harrises took over, there was a couple that lived upstairs. The upstairs was an apartment, and their names were Faye and Leona Keith.
Yeah.
And they lived upstairs. That's who owned the building. But then Ray ended up buying the building. I believe the Keiths moved out. Ray used the entire building, I believe.
I believe the recording studio was upstairs.
For the whole business.
Yeah, when we left last night, Beth and and let's show another side picture of it too. I sent 2 pictures. That's another view of it.
Yeah.
If you were going to turn south there on South Locust, that's the building that we're talking
Los
about.
Tres Caminos is back behind it a little bit. You can see that in the picture.
Off to the east a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's the visual where we're at. But I went in there, and as I got out of my car, because I just like, you know what, we need a picture of the building. So I got out of my car. Well, and I was taking the picture, and then a truck comes back. Of course, it's Stephen Smith, who has Smith Appraisal there, and he pulls up there. He's like, "What are you doing? Take a picture of my..." I said, "Well, I'm doing Beth and I are doing Crusade Enterprises on our show tomorrow, and I wanted a picture of the building." And I asked him, I said, "Have you changed any? I mean, is the studio still up there?" He said, "It's still set up. That all the equipment's, of course, is gone, but it's still." So I'm like, "I'm going in there because I've never been upstairs."
Did you go in there last night?
No, I didn't go last night. I was tired.
Oh.
I should have, but I did. I said, "I'll take me in there after Easter." But I've been in the front.
Yeah.
I've been in the front, but I had never been. Because, I've recorded, but when I recorded down in Nashville. But anyway, so that's just so. Basically, we've got the Harrises here. They've got their own beautiful business started. And so now they're going to start bringing people in. And I remember the buses being, I mean, big Greyhound buses. But Beth, why don't you read some of that article that you found? And was this, where'd you find this at?
Well, actually, Dorothy Cobble gave this to me, and it ran in the Decatur Herald on Wednesday, December 29th of 1976. So I'll read a little bit about this because this kind of sums it up better, but then we'll go over all of our notes from last night because it's a lot of information. But this article says, when Ray and Dolores Harris began their gospel singing group years ago, they didn't know it would develop into a recording company. It all came out of our own need, Harris said. Our group was traveling full-time, and we wanted to make an album, and we had a difficult time finding a place. So the Harrises found a printer and a pressing company and began producing their own albums. Before long, other singing groups were asking the Harrises for recording help. Thus, Crusade Enterprises was formed. The recording company now offers a 16-track studio, which we're going to talk about all the different tracks that they did, including a musician who can provide a full orchestra and album cover printing. The original tape recordings are made in the studio but sent to another firm for pressing the records and producing 8-track recordings. Harris said the majority of the 1,000 groups which record at the studio are gospel or religious singers, although several country and rock and roll singers record there also. The firm recently did an on-location recording of Little Susie, the star of the Sangamon Valley Opry in Edinburgh. The studio produced a total of 300,000 albums in 8 tracks last year. So this would have been in 75.
Wow.
So this, just to put this into perspective, like this wasn't a tiny business. No. This had people traveling to Flora from all over the country to come record here. 300,000 albums were produced there. Harris explained how the 16-track studio helps make the recording session easier. With 16 tracks, if one member of the group makes a mistake in singing, we can correct that one word from just that one member without making the entire group go through the whole number again, he said. The 16 tracks also allow Bill Castellari, the head musician, he was also a sound engineer too, to provide a complete orchestra. We can talk about Bill here in a minute.
We need to do a whole episode on Bill alone.
Castellari can play a separate instrument on each track and put them together for a full orchestra. The studio offers recording packages which range from $675 to $2,000. So if you were a singer today and you wanted to go record your own album and you were going to go to a recording studio, there's no way that you could record one for $2,000, let alone
anymore.
Let alone $675.
You might be able to do one for $5 or $6, maybe, and that's not even a great one.
The $675 package buys 3 hours of 16-track studio taping, a reel of 2-inch recording tape, and a 1/2-inch mix-down reel, 300 one-color album jackets, and the record pressing. Costs increase for additional taping time and additional record production. The business, operated by a staff of 10, and we're going to go through some of the names of the people that worked there. There was more than 10, of course, because they worked at different years. But the business grosses about $300,000 yearly. Wow. For 1976. $300,000 a year is what that business was making. So that tells you that people were traveling from all over to come here. Although their time is limited, the Crusaders, which is Harris's singing group, still perform and record albums. The group also includes the Harris's daughter Tammy and Ray's brother Del Harris, his wife Marianne, and their daughter Tricia. The Harrises also have organized New Wine Ministries, a Christian center located across the street from Crusade Enterprises. We can kind of talk about that in a minute too, but that was a Christian center that they put in what used to be the Power and Grace building across from the Mexican restaurant, but now Guadalupe Project is there. That building, that's what that served as.
Yeah.
The center was established as a memorial to the Harris's daughter Vicky, who died in an automobile accident in 1972. The center is open at 7 p.m. each Thursday for a charismatic Christian program. So anyway, that tells a little bit, that kind of rounds out the story, but we have so much more.
I want to talk a little bit about because when we say musicians were there, I want to read this part in this. This is like the Crusade Enterprises recording and album company, Flora, Illinois. This is like the price brochure. So this is the price brochure of what you would see whenever you were going to record. But we're not just talking a guitar or a piano here. Listen to this. Crusade has acquired top-notch musicians to assist with background music in the sessions. When one musician per instrument is needed, such as drums, bass, etc., the cost is $45 per musician. When keyboard artists are needed, where the load is heavy and the very best is required, we may have to import them from as far away as St. Louis. Figure $50 per session. We do have one musician that is like getting a small orchestra. He is our head musician and plays a variety of instruments in many different styles, and that is
Bill Castellari.
Bill Castellari. Listen to this. This is what this man plays, Bill Castellari. The instruments he plays are, in part, piano, organ. In part.
He can play anything.
Anything. Piano, organ, sax, clarinet, harmonica, violin, guitar, plus other stringed instruments.
I think he can play any stringed instrument.
He can play anything.
He was Malia's violin teacher.
Amazing. The cost of our head musician for a regular session is $55. This head musician uses various instruments to assist in introductions, interludes, etc., which gives tremendous variety to an LP record. Crusade musicians are chosen for their knowledge of Christian music and because they know how to make your session better. They do not desire to be soloists. Huge thing.
Yeah.
They do not want to be like, oh, I'm so good, I'm here,
Yeah, I'm going to overplay you.
I'm going to overpower you. Mm-hmm. You may bring your own musicians, but it has been proven, unless the musicians are actually part of your traveling group, it costs you time and sound quality. This is a 5-hour maximum for musicians per session. After 5 hours, there is a $5 per hour overtime charge per musician. Sunday and holiday sessions are $10 per musician. But I just wanted to read that little bit because of how much Bill Castellari, the man just, a musical prodigy, probably. So we're going to take a commercial break, and we will be back. And we're going to talk a little bit about, let's talk about employees.
Okay, let's do
talk
that.
about employees when
we'll
we
be
come
right
back.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank.
We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online bank, you just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be.
Clay County State Bank.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County Farmers Mutual Insurance.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and we are talking about Crusade Enterprises, a recording studio in downtown Flora that was very successful, very community-oriented, helped us a lot with high school productions and grade school productions. And it's funny, I mean, the man, and Ray Harris was one of those guys, because Tammy and I were friends, and like I said, I was a year younger than her. I met when I went to Lincoln School in the 4th grade, and Tammy would have been in 5th grade, and I was a singer along with her. It didn't matter where we were at, Ray Harris had and it wasn't just a video camera, it was a video camera.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were jewels. They were just, Dolores Harris is probably one of the sweetest women I've ever met in my entire life. But anyway, they were great people, but it was like, so we had, whatever we needed, he was always there. So let's talk a little bit. I do want to talk a little bit about a friend of mine, Berdella McGrew. And Berdella did work at Crusade Enterprises, but Berdella McGrew sang with her sister, Crystal Engelmeyer, and then a lady named Linda Wheeler. They were called the Three Tones, and they were one of the very first recording contracts, I guess you could say, at Crusade Enterprises.
Okay.
So that's kind of fun that, like, we start this and it's a local group did. And I was going to ask her, Berdella, last night, I'm almost thinking, for some reason, I feel like she sang backup on some of these songs. I can't imagine her not. Her and Chris her sister Crystal Engelmeyer. I don't know how they do it. I was always the lead singer. I am getting better because now I'm making myself learn harmony. But Berdella and Chris, they could just go boom, 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 boom. Yeah, they got that ear.
It just naturally
comes to them. But yeah, the Three Tones, one of the first recording there, which is kind of fun. But let's take show a look at some pictures.
Yeah, I've got several pictures to show. Let's just start sliding through those. Ty, this is the inside of the studio.
It's legit. That's legit.
And you can see the window back there where people would be on the other side singing. This is where they mixed everything. Now, they had different times. They started off with 2 tracks, and then they went to 8 tracks, and then they went to 16 tracks, and then they went to 24 tracks. And they were all reel to reel. And then eventually they ended up closing in the 1990s because it was kind of like you need to go digital or close because this is kind of obsolete. So that's what they were. Now, Tammy could look at this picture and tell you what this was set up for, if this was the 16 track or the 24.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
There's a chair.
There's and there's the red carpet. There's the red chair. Like
I
there's
see
red
a guitar
throughout.
and a piano. Other than that, and I see chords.
Okay, let's look at another picture, Ty. There's another one that's similar to that one, but Yeah, here we go.
That's Ray and Bill.
Yep. So that's Ray Harris in the back there, and then Bill Castellari in the yellow shirt, and they are doing their thing and mixing the sound, and that's a really great shot of them. Yeah, that's a cool picture there. Okay, yeah, so this is either the 16 or the 24. You can tell this was probably an earlier picture because there's not as much stuff going on. There's not as much set up. So
well, you can see through the window there. You can see the door to the right where the singers and the musicians are inside, and those things hanging up are the big headphones we'd wear whenever you record. You'd have those with all the music inside.
Yeah,
recording's fun.
Yeah.
But it is amazing how they can, like, if you mess up just one, it's like, oh man, I didn't realize that. But they're like, no, go back to this one thing, and they cut, and it'd be like, la la, boom, boom, fixed it, done, go on.
Yeah, that's neat.
It is neat.
Okay, let's keep going, Ty. Okay. So this is one of the groups that performed, and let me go to the paper here. This was Lowell Mason was his real name. He was a little person. He sang with Revival Fires, and I think he was very well known all over the place. But apparently he had a great voice, and he recorded there in the late 60s.
Yeah, Berdella made the comment that he was a bass singer. Low voice. Really? He was a deep voice.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. Well, let's just talk a little bit about this photo.
Okay.
We got the saxophone.
Yes.
We got the upright bass there. Their dresses are fantastic with the big flowers because we have to match.
Yeah.
And then you've got the accordion down below, right? But that picture is just.
That's a great picture.
It is a great picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just looks like somebody that would walk right out of the Lord's Welk.
Absolutely.
And actually, I think the gentleman in the top, the gentleman up there.
Yes, I was getting ready to talk about him.
He looks like Ray Harris himself.
Well, I kind of see that.
Yeah.
Ray wasn't in on that, but it also kind of looks like Walt Disney.
Oh my, you're right. He does look like Walt Disney. How fun.
What if Walt Disney had a side gig and was performing in Flora?
And came to Flora and recorded.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Let's keep going.
So fun. So fun.
Oh, this is one of
She's going to kill you.
This is Tammy in Taiwan. This is one of Tammy Renee Harris's albums that
I love it.
Yeah, so this was one that she did and had a great cover. I liked it. So.
I like the color too. The cover too. That's fun.
Okay. Let's keep going. Okay, this is another album that we were just looking through a bunch of different albums last night that had been made there. This is called Lovin' the Life by the Gospel Lads.
What a laid-back picture.
Yeah.
Oh, and let's talk a little bit about
the departments and the artwork and stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about the artwork.
Okay. I was going to do that in a minute, but I'll do it right now.
Let's just do it right now.
Okay, so
just leave this picture up. So let's just get a little gander of this.
Okay, so the whole business was divided into different departments, just like kind of any factory would be. You have, at NAL, you have all these different areas. It was like that at Crusade too. They had fabricating, and that was in the back of the building, and that was the cardboard,
the actual
things the records went in.
There I went completely blank.
Yeah, the
record cover.
They start off with a blank piece of white cardboard, and then that was ran through a machine that looked kind of like a wringer washer, I guess, and it would like fold it up and make it into what it needed to be. And then they would take the record and they had it in like one of those sleeves.
Yep.
And that would be stuffed inside. And then they'd have to check it, make sure everything looked right. The record wasn't warped at all. And then they shrink wrapped it after that.
And like Berdella was talking about last night about how they had like glued them seams together.
So like
talk a little bit about that.
The paper on okay, so then to lead into that, another section was graphic design, which was Dorothy Cobble's job. She did all of the album designs and covers. And so she would get the photos and everything and design these album covers. And then that was put onto this paper, I guess. And then that was put onto the cardboard. I don't know the right words for this.
Dorothy made that.
Dorothy made that cover, okay?
It's way too technical for Beth and I.
Like around the edges of a record album, which I didn't bring one of those in, but there's like it's folded down around the edges, almost like a binding on a quilt, I guess.
Yeah.
But, anyway, they would do all that. So there was like different areas. There was a proofreading person. There was
which was your mother, which is fitting because you're just like her.
And then there was the fabricating and the graphic design and the recording and the I don't think I wrote down all of the different parts that they talked about. But
the ladies were just like feeding off each other.
Yes.
It was like I recorded it all, but I've been banned from showing the recording.
Well, I did an audio recording, but it's still so hit and miss, and just it's a little all over the place. But anyway, so Dorothy did the album cover. So let's keep going. Here's another one. Now, this is Bill Castellari. This was one of his albums. Gospel is the universal language. This guy, I know we talked about him a minute ago, but he is the most talented person. And every instrument that is shown in that photo on his album, he can play.
Yeah.
And he's still alive today. He probably pick one up right now and play you a song.
I bet he could.
He is pretty amazing. And they were very blessed to have him at their business. I mean, to be able to employ him and have someone in-house that could do all of this. And so what he actually did was he could play a song with one instrument, and then he would record that like the 16 or 24 times on each track, and then he would put them all together, and it would sound like an orchestra was playing.
Yeah, and
but
it's
it
one
was
guy.
But it was actually one guy playing every instrument just at a different time, and then editing it all together to make it sound like an orchestra.
Like, because a lot of singers, like if you listen to a lot of singers, they're not only singing lead, but a lot of singers are also singing all the background, all the backup vocals too.
Yeah.
Let's go into another picture.
Trucks and country go together. Steve Jeffries. I kind of had a glare on that one, but so they weren't all gospel. This was a country album, so they weren't all gospel.
They weren't all gospel.
Let's keep going. Anything Can Happen, words and music sung and done by Joe Wayman, songs and activities for fun and creative learning. This was a children's album. So this is another example of they weren't all gospel. This was children's. So keep going. This was an album called Floyd C. and the Kids from Flora.
Remember, we did an episode on Floyd C. Smith.
Yes, and he was an administrator here in town. He's well-known, well-loved, and he did an album of some of him and his kids from
Which
school
is so
singing.
great. Where else are you going to get an opportunity to do something like that?
So that's the back of the album. Then let's keep going. There were some photos from the front. This
that's
was
Vicky.
Vicky. This was the oldest daughter that died in the car crash in 1972 of the Harrises. And then I didn't take pictures of all of them, but then there was Dana. Is that Dana Hosick? I'm not sure who that is.
Know.
I
don't know.
just took a few pictures. I don't know. Keep going.
I don't know.
Yeah, and then this was the cover of the album with all of their names signed on
signatures.
it. Yeah, which I thought was a really cute way to do it. Okay, and then this was Vicky's album, Moments to Remember.
She was a beautiful girl.
Yeah.
Bill Oliver adored her. They were friends the same age. Bill Oliver was actually on that album with Floyd C.
Okay.
He's talked so highly of Vicki Harris. I did not know her. She was quite a bit older than Tammy. There was an age difference between the two girls. From what I understand, she was an outstanding singer, beautiful soul, beautiful person, all around great lady.
Okay, let's keep going. Okay, here's a picture of Bill in the studio. This is one of the pictures that ran in the Decatur Herald, and he's busy there doing his thing. I don't know. All right, editing, recording.
I have no idea. I don't push those buttons. That's a lot of buttons.
That's a lot of buttons. Okay, let's keep going. And this is Ray on the other side of the recording studio. So we've looked at it from both angles now. So this is the part where the singing people would stand and sing. So
the singing people.
No, you love my.
The singing people would stand and sing.
The singing people here, the recording people here.
And
I'm dumbing it down because
everywhere.
I didn't understand it completely. So okay,
yeah, it's difficult.
Okay, let's keep going. I didn't mean to send that one. Okay, and then that's Dorothy.
That's Dorothy Cobble.
That's Dorothy Cobble there. So that is. She is working on designing her next album cover there for whatever one she's working on, doing her thing.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's a great picture.
That is a great picture.
Okay, this This is a picture of an album, and it's called Fiddle Tunes, Different Strokes. This is the cover of Alison Krauss's very first album, and it was recorded.
Wait a minute! Don't tell him. Where do you think it was recorded at? Abby, do you have any guesses?
Crusade,
Ding, ding, ding.
Crusade
Crusade
Enterprises. Alison Krauss, and you can look it up. Google her history. Look, and it will say that her very first album was called Different Strokes. And whenever you click on that and see where it was produced, it was recorded. It's all online, and it was her first recordings was at Crusade Enterprises, and her and her brother also recorded there. But I think I have this part on my phone. She She was actually from like the Champaign area.
Allison was.
And she and her brother, her mother really pushed her to be into music, and she didn't really want to be. She wanted to be a professional roller skater. But her mom kept pushing her to learn the violin, and she hated learning the violin. But then she went to a fiddling competition, and she decided that she kind of wanted more. She liked the fiddling.
Be a fiddle player too.
Yes, and she started winning fiddling contests at the age of 8. And so the very first time she recorded, she was 14 years old, and she recorded at Crusade Enterprises in Flora. And I actually have a picture of her in about that year, a younger woman. Ty, do you have that one? Yep. This is not a great picture, but that, bless her heart.
Oh, well, she's changed a little bit.
She has changed a lot, but that was around the age of 14 and when she started, yeah. And then let's take a look at her now. There we go.
She's an excellent singer.
Yeah, and
she's a very talented woman.
And she is stick thin. I saw her on that 100 Opry episode thing, and she almost is too thin.
We need to take a commercial break.
Okay.
We're going to take a commercial break, and now that we talked a little bit about Alison Krauss, we're going to just run through some of the employees when we get back, and that'll end our episode. Okay. So we will be right back.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Peggle's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Peggle Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting the work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
Give me all your lumber. Doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh yeah, give me all your guns too.
John Lucas.
What?
You better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. We are talking about Crusade Enterprises, and they had a lot of local people that worked there over the years.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that.
There was quite a few workers.
Yeah, so the business was owned by Ray and Dolores Harris. Ray passed away in 1992, and Dolores passed away in 2023. Bill Castlery was their sound engineer, their main musician, and probably wore so many hats there, I'm willing to guess. Other employees were Dorothy Cobble, that we've mentioned, Berdella McGrew, my mother, Debbie DeVore, and she worked there until right after I was born. And then
you blew it.
I blew it because she
stayed home with you, right?
My babysitter quit, and so then she didn't have a babysitter for me. So then she quit.
You, I'd quit too.
Probably.
You're probably a bad baby.
Oh, gosh, I hope not. Other people that worked there were Vera DeWeese, Alice Phillips, Amy Bales, R.J. Gill, Carrie Hurtis, Ricky Lappington, Rita Cooper, or she was a Mullins. And she worked in the print shop area, I think.
Because they not only had Crusade Enterprises, but right next door to it, they had their own print shop. So where they were able to print their own brochures and things.
Nancy DeHart, Danny Greenwood.
Another great musician. Danny Greenwood's a great musician, too.
David Kuntz.
Oh, the sweetest man ever.
Jim Vaughn, Mary Ann Vaughn.
And those were Tammy's aunt and uncle.
Vernon Gwynn may have worked there for a brief time.
Yeah, Tammy sent me a message last night and said, I think Vernon Gwynn worked there as a young adult or even when he was in high school.
And Yvonne Gwynn as well.
And Yvonne Gwynn. She said, did we talk about Yvonne and Vernon Gwynn?
And then there was one more you said that she sent you.
She said Will Estheimer. He was a guy that we went to school with. Will Estheimer worked at Crusade Enterprises also.
Okay.
So so they employed, quite a few people.
Yeah, and this may not be a complete list. This is the ones that came to mind.
They can remember.
So,
yeah, it's quite the bustling place. Like
It really
I said,
was.
I remember very well. Buses coming downtown. You always knew when somebody was coming in
to record.
Because the big old buses would pull in right downtown Flora and so it's pretty neat.
Yeah, very cool.
And famous people. They said Bordella was talking about some of the Christian artists there. The Phelps brothers recorded there.
Yep.
Goodwin brothers. The Collinsworth family was in town.
Yep.
That's just touching the service because when did they open this? 59?
Yes.
When did Tammy mention when they closed the doors?
1990s.
1990s. So we're talking a span of 60, 30, 31 years as far as we just take it from 59 to 1990 in itself.
Right.
Because even after Ray passed away, Dolores continued on with the business and carried on what was going on.
Absolutely. Anyway, it's good to talk about these things because so many people drive by that building every day and have no idea what used to be in there, how important it was to the town, what a big business it was, and how many famous people it brought to town, which by today's standards, not all of them are still famous, but some of these names might not mean a lot. But at the time, they were big names in the music industry.
Absolutely.
And they were all right in Flora.
Right downtown Flora.
Yep.
Yeah, back in the day, it's like I said, Beth and I mean, that's why we do this show. It's like I just think it's really important for people to know where your town comes from and what was it's absolutely amazing and it seems like weekly we learn something new. There's so many different things that we learn and the stories that we come in contact with that touched Flora. We not only do Flora, we do Clay County. We've even been venturing out into Wayne County. We'll talk about some.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're going to dive into Wayne County a little bit more, but yeah, I mean, your history is important. I've said it, and I'll say it a million times. Small towns, all you have is your history. That's your roots. You have your roots, and if you focus on what your roots are and your history, people will come and check out what you know.
Sure.
Yeah, because Flora, it's funny. It's amazing. Like when you travel, Flora is very well known in a lot of instances. I mean, it seems like you can go a lot of places, and it'd be like, oh, I've heard of Flora. Did I tell you when Jim and I were on that cruise?
There was some story. I don't remember.
Yes, Jim and I were on a cruise last year in the Mediterranean Sea. And I think we're like in the pool area, and we're going on, and we're, of course, I'm going to strike up a conversation with everybody that I'm in contact with, and they're like, oh yeah, it's like, oh yeah, well, they were like from like northern Illinois, and I'm like, oh yeah. I said, well, you may have heard. I said, we're from Flora. She said, I know where Flora is. I roomed with Patsy Conley at school. She was Patsy Hoskins, at the time would have been Hoskins, Conley's roommate. I'm in a pool in the Mediterranean Sea.
Yeah.
And it
is a small
you've
world.
You've got to be kidding me.
That happens a lot where you talk to somebody and they know exactly where you're from.
Yeah, and then, of course, we did an episode on Is We Is. Is We Is was big. Because Is We Is put us on. I mean, when you go on Oprah and talking about Is We Is.
Yep. We're on the map, people.
I'm disappointed in one thing on Is We Is. We went on Oprah, but why we didn't make it on Jerry Springer, I'll never know.
Yeah, because Jerry Springer wasn't on air yet.
Jerry Springer wasn't when
No.
Is We Is was around?
No, I don't think Jerry Springer came on until Ty Google real quick when
Yeah.
Jerry Springer came
Are
out.
you
'cause
sure?
It was the mid '90s before he got on the scene. This
Was it?
Is We Is was in '87.
Yeah, because I watched a documentary on Jerry Springer. Holy cow. And he
What?
was like a very intelligent, smart man and then just made his way in trash TV.
91.
91. Well, no wonder Is We Is.
That's why. Yep.
Gosh, I'm getting old. I'm losing track of time. In my mind, it still is 1990s.
It isn't actually.
It
I kind of wish
isn't.
it was. I love the '90s, but no.
But I don't love the 90s. I love the 80s.
I like the '80s and the '90s.
Yeah. Well, the 90s, your generation, just weirdos.
You think?
All your grungy, what was that
Oh.
stuff called?
I wasn't grunge
Your
though.
emo.
No, that was more like 2000s. I don't. No one was emo in
Nobody-
the '90s. No.
I think Darcy might have been.
Maybe in the 2000s. I don't think emo was a thing in the 90s.
Emo, that's where they dress
Unless
in
it was
black.
like 99 or something. But by that time, I was already married.
But by that time, you were over it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's end the show with something funny.
Yes. I got to read it. Okay. Okay, so we end the show on a funny little saying, and this is from Here's Your Sign, the Bill Engvall. And he says, this is funny. The other day, my wife and I were watching TV, and she said, you know, you never see the Pope with his wife. I said, that's because she stays at home putting sequins on his hats and robes. Besides, she has to take care of his kids. Here's your sign,
Here's
wife.
your sign. Oh, gosh.
Let's see.
His poor wife. She's probably not really that stupid.
Probably.
He probably just made a joke, and now she has to.
Oh, this
Put up
is
with it.
this is something that I would probably say. The other day, I was cutting grass in the front yard when a friend dropped by and asked, "Mowing the yard?" "Nope," I said. "I'm just running oil through the lawnmower."
Alrighty then.
I gotta do one more. These are
Okay.
too funny. Have you have you ever had someone call your house and when you answer the phone they ask, "Are you home?" Just say, "Nope, I'm on Mars," and had my calls forwarded.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, there's been times where when I had a house phone, people will call and say, "Are you home?"
No.
You called the house. I'm here.
Yeah,
So.
it is. I mean, it is funny.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Oh, nothing. You could have 1,000 things going on. I say it every time. I'll be at the shop and have 2 hair colors going. "Hey, it's a great day cutting up. How can I help you?" "Hey, you busy?" "No." "What's up?" "Nothing." I'm just drenched in sweat and blue hands. And I mean, it is. Why do we get into those?
I don't
Why
know.
do we say that?
I don't know, but I do it too.
I did. Yeah. What's
Yeah.
going on? "Oh, nothing." "Well,
Yeah.
I just got this."
Or how are you today? What do you say? I'm fine.
Fine.
I'm fine. You may not be fine, but we all say, "Oh, I'm fine.
I'm
That's
fine. I'm just ready to jump off a bridge right in front of a bus. But yeah, it's all right.
We're fine. It's fine.
Oh,
Everything's
shoot.
fine."
Beth,
But
tell
anyway.
everybody where they can find us.
You can watch our show Monday through Friday on Wabash Catch TV channel 100 at 10 a.m.
It's
in my mind, like I say it every week. Is
It's
that right?
11 and 3, isn't it?
11 and 3
On Channel 100.
It feels like a Monday today, but it isn't. Anyway, 11
Hey,
and
how
3.
you doing today?
Fine. Been talking too much. Okay, 11 and 3. And then our new episodes air on Thursdays and Fridays. And you can also find all of our episodes on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and type in Beth and Stacey, and you'll see our picture. Click on that. That takes you to our YouTube page, and all of our videos are there. They're either under the video tab or they're under the live tab. So anyway, that's where you can find us. You can also like and follow us on Facebook. And until next time, we'll see you later.
All right. God bless you and have a great day.